Well, today we're going to do some organization in the GeoPro. I've told you about this project that I want to do. It's above the stove and sink in the FD model. We have this big cabinet. We've just been throwing things up in here. I've got a little bit of organization on this side, but I'm going to build something on this side. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do in a little bit. We'll measure a few things. Basically, we're going to put this stuff leaning up this direction and stack them and have little dividers for that versus having it just stacked on top of everything. So you open this up after a trip, everything comes flying out at you. So we're going to do a little bit of a tweaking on this, and I'll show you what I do. This is going to be personalized for my particular needs, so you can probably use the ideal to do this, but you probably would have to tweak it for how many plates and things that you have in your RV. So we'll get to it. So what we're going to try to do is just putting it up here to see what we got. We always carry only 3 to 4 plates because that's all we'll ever have in our camper. So we do 4 bowls and 4 plates, and then we have some paper plates. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a piece of wood from this side over to this side. And we're going to put basically dividers that come up in between here and here. Have a place that these bowls will actually set where they won't slide around, and then at the end we're going to make a piece that goes up, and actually we can hang our coffee cups up there, and we'll actually have a little bin to put the tops for the coffee cups back there in the back. We also have some stuff we don't use as much, some microwave stuff that we're trying to integrate into there. So I'm not going to go over every one of my cuts, but I basically cut this piece right here. I think it's 22 inches. I actually made it a little smaller. Originally it was 22 inches, but it won't fit in the hole up on the and get it actually in there. Then I made these uprights 10 inches. Wanted to make it a little cantilevered on the top here, but when I did, I couldn't fit it in the door hole. So we're going to go up and dry fit it now. I did have an offset right here because there's a brace in that corner, and we'll see how this fits. So the tricky part is to get this piece in through our hole. We could take this divider out between our cabinets to fit it in better, but I didn't really want to do that. So we're going to fit this in here. That's why I made these legs only 10 inches tall. And this originally was 22 inches. I think I cut an inch off of that to get that to fit in. So it fits in, drops down, and you'll see back in that corner I actually made a little offset. Oh boy, okay, there's something I didn't plan for. There's actually a block inside of here. So that offset didn't help me a whole lot. Well, anyway, that's what I've got so far. And you saw when I went in there, there was a block on this side of the cabinet I wasn't allowing for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the offset the same on this edge here. That way it'll go up against that block. I might even put a screw in there that'll hold this thing from moving around once I get it in there. So we're going to work on that. We're going to have to redesign the way the front goes. I was originally going to put a bar across the front, but I'm going to have to redesign that because when I check my plates, there won't be enough clearance for it to make it through. So I'm going to have to put a board to hold my dividers in here and work on that. We'll see how that plays out in the end. So you see I put that offset in there, and it just 4 screws. I did pre-drill these holes because this is thin wood, and just took it easy because I don't want these to split out. This is relatively light, and I'm going to be careful with it because it can easily rip out. So I've got those legs on there, and you'll see on the end pieces I'm going to use these thin pieces. I've got real small brads in my brad gun, and I'm going to put these on here and the one on the other side here. Then we'll work on our dividers. So what we're going to do now is, in order to have something to hold our dividers, we need to cut a groove. We're going to cut a small groove up to this, into this board right here. That way we're going to put our thin material in there to have something to nail to. And then these will actually set, not a full piece, but we'll put them in here like this with the divider on there. So I'm going to cut these now. Got to be a little careful. I didn't bring my fence in here, and just cut a little groove right on the top of here. We'll probably make the groove about a ½ inch deep. So you'll see I've got that little groove in there. We're going to use this. This is actually dry eraser board is what we're going to use. It's really thin. And that's going to go in like this to make our divider. We'll use our little nail gun, nail that. And then we'll mount these pieces in there for our dividers. So you'll see I've got that little groove, and I've gone ahead and cut these down to size. We just need a little bit for the divider. We don't have to have the whole area filled in. I believe just this will be enough for holding the plates. And we'll make a bigger one for like the bowls. Let's see, it just sits into this groove. We're going to nail these in, nail these in. And then these are going to set as our dividers inside. So we'll take care of that. Get back with you. So you see the way I've got this set up, just got a small divider. First divider is just for our paper plates that'll go in here. Okay, so you'll see how I got that in there. It goes in. There's the two dividers. I'm not sure how I'm going to do these other dividers, but we're going to look into that now. I just want to see how the dishes pack in there and how well they work. So we got I've got these in here just to check them out a little bit. I've actually probably gave it more room than it needed. These are for the paper plates, some of our regular plates, and we're going to have these. These are our microwave bowls. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to build another wall here. Probably a little bit longer wall, stick it out just to kind of keep that from flopping around. So we got this divider in here, and we did go ahead and put a screw in here that we're going to use to attach it to the actual cabinet. Put these here. I'm not sure how well these are going to work for the cups, but we're going to give those a try. And maybe I might put this in here like this, just let it set in there with our bowls back here. And that'll give us a place to put our lids. We'll just have to see how that works out when we get upstairs. Okay, we've got that set in place. We're going to see how well this works. What we're going to do is bring it all the way to the front here, and I'm going to use this one screw to secure it to that front piece. It's just a short screw, just enough to keep this thing from flopping around in here. So we'll see how that works, and we'll get it loaded up and see what it looks like. So there you have it. We got that done. Project looks pretty good, and it's like a lot of work to do just to get everything standing up, but it's a lot easier to get to, not so jumbled up in here. We've got paper plates or regular plates, just the odds and ends here. We got some paper bowls here and some regular bowls in the back that have to dig a little deeper, but obviously we know that whenever we're going to do soup, we'll already have our cups out. So our cups set here. And the lids, we just decided to leave them in the bottom, just kind of sitting there at the bottom. I think that'll be fine. It'll always be when you open these cabinets up after traveling, you have to be careful, make sure everything hadn't shifted to the front. I was going to put a little bar in the front here to keep that from happening, and maybe I can do a Velcro piece at some point, but It has to be something removable because you can't get these. The clearance when you bring a plate out of here is very little. You only have maybe a ½ inch of clearance. So looks like that's going to work out pretty good. So we did take a few odds and ends extra cups that we have for when we have our grandchild come by, and we have some soup bowls that we use back here. But those are things we don't have to get to all the time, and we did a little more organization with this. Might have to do a little work on this in the future, but all in all, I'm pretty happy with the way that turned out. And if you have any questions on how I did this, leave it in the comments, and I think it turned out pretty good. So we'll see you again on another one of these projects that I've been doing through the winter.